What's up, guys? Today I wanted to make a video about premium versus budget knives. I know it's really easy to fall into a trap of wanting premium blade steel, wanting to get that Magna Cut, titanium scales, all of that, but it does come at quite a price. And I think for most people, you don't ever actually need anything that much. So I have a little lineup here. We are going from the cheapest up to the most expensive. And we're going to kind of go over the differences, essentially what makes this knife more expensive than this knife. So we'll start off with the little budget knife. So, boom. Now, it's got plastic scales. It's, well, not technically plastic, but it feels kind of plasticky. Maybe it can be construed as a little bit cheaper. The blade steel, I don't even know what the blade steel is, if I'm being honest. It's not super great. It's nothing to write home about, but it's sharp. It holds its edge decently well, and it gets the job done for most things. The coating on it helps with corrosion resistance, so you don't really need a Magna Cut steel, anything like that, with super high corrosion resistance, because it's got the coating on the blade already. It does have a button lock. Typically, those things, again, the dog in the background. Typically, button locks are a little bit more expensive. This knife was $30. Dog, chill out, man. Jeez. So this knife was $30. Pretty good little knife. I mean, it's got the thumb studs. It's got a decent little blade on it. It's got it's super lightweight, good scales, button lock, all of that fun stuff. Very fidgety little knife. And then we got something like the Spiderco Tenacious. Now, this one's by CJRB. It's the Pyrite Light, in case you were wondering. This is the Spiderco Tenacious. It is Spiderco branded, obviously, giant hole, little spider. This one's just a little liner lock on it, so nothing super fancy. Again, the steel's not super fancy. It's good steel. Again, super sharp, holds its edge really well. It's coated, again, notice the trend. You don't need super steel on this. This one is a little bit more expensive. Why? Well, the handle, the G10, is a little bit more of an expensive material to work with. It is extra grippy. I don't know if you can really tell, but there's like all little tiny grooves in here. It just feels really grippy. But it's just a little liner lock. And part of it is because it is a Spiderco that it is going to be a little bit more expensive. You're slightly paying more for the brand. This knife I did get, I think it was like $60. I got it on sale. I think normally it's a little bit more than that. But $60 for that knife isn't bad at all. I mean, it's a really good knife. It's kind of a beast of a knife. It's really tanky. It feels like you could just really get in there and get some work done. But a good knife. And I'm not saying this one feels weak in comparison. This knife, I'm not worried about this knife breaking on me or anything when I'm using it. I mean, the reality is most people use knives simply to just open packages and stuff. We're not doing a lot of like super hard work with our knives. And I think realistically, somebody that is doing a lot of hard work with their knives probably isn't going to opt for something down on this end. It's probably going to be over on this end. This is the Kershaw Bel Air. This one comes in at $150. I think I got mine for like $130 plus tax, so it still came out to like $150. But obviously this one has the Magna Cut steel blade. Definitely a bit more expensive. It is USA made. And it's got the access lock, which is a little bit more complicated. These are just aluminum scales. Nothing super fancy about them. If it was anything more, it'd be more expensive. But also a very good knife. I mean, it's kind of a middle of the road when you're talking the grand scheme of things. I know for a lot of people, this is definitely still an expensive knife. I mean, most people are expecting down here, they probably don't want to spend over $100 on a knife, and you don't have to, is what I'm trying to say. You can get by just fine with one of these. You don't need all American made, Magna Cut steel, fancy access lock or anything. It's nice to have, sure, but you don't need it, is kind of the point I'm making. Then we get to the more premium knives. This one's about $250. This is from Knives. It's the Kitefin. This is also a limited edition, which does raise the price a little bit. Again, button lock. It's got a flipper tab to open it up. This is, I want to say, it's like 20 CV steel, something like that. Let me double check that. Yeah, I think it's 20 CV. So not like, it's not Magna Cut steel. It's not a super steel. Then why is this knife so much more? Well, it comes from Knives. See that little branding there on the, can you see that? The Knives. I love Knives. They are a premium knife maker though. And this knife feels premium. You hand this to a person that doesn't know knives, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a nice knife. It's the titanium, it's the resin here, even a little Damascus there. Everything about it feels premium quality. The action is really good. This could be a good everyday carry knife. Again, you probably don't want to be doing like super hard work with it though. And it doesn't feel like it's going to break on me. I'm not worried about that. Again, if it's very well made, it's sturdy, but it's a bit pricey. If you do, you know, accidentally snap the tip on it or something, you know, it's going to be a little bit harder to replace or get repaired or whatever. It's just a more financially difficult knife. As far as like some of these steels, like Magna Cut, it's harder to sharpen these knives. It's just a fact. And I mean, you could get it done. It is just harder to get it super sharp than something down here. The cheaper the steel, the worse the edge retention. Technically, it still stays sharp for a long time. I think most people are not going to notice a difference in these three steels, but these ones are going to be easier to sharpen than this one. It's just a fact when it comes to, you know, the stronger steel. So what am I trying to say? I guess don't spend $250 on the knife unless you really want to. I mean, I am a knife guy. I like knives. I will buy a nice knife every so often just because I really like knives. But you don't need something like that. You can get something down on this end. Knives, for example, they do have a sister company that's owned by the same people, Civivi. Look at that, a C instead of the we. This is, I don't even remember what this one is. Little Civivi knife. I think I paid $40 for this one. Again, not amazing steel, but it definitely gets the job done. And it feels premium made like this one, but at a fraction of the cost. Like I said, I paid like $40 for this. Obviously, it's just a liner lock, flipper tab. It just doesn't have the premium materials that something like that has. And the cost reflects that. Now, this is definitely more of their like budget-friendly company. If you want a more premium knife, you're going for We. But like I'm saying, ultimately, and it is controversial, but I think the more premium steel knives, the more premium, more costly knives are not good EDC options. Because if you're rocking it in your pocket, you might lose it, you might damage it if you're using it every day. And ultimately, are you gonna worry about damaging this one losing it, something like that, you're out $30, or you're gonna be out $250. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Just my thoughts on the matter, I guess. Again, I apologize for the dog in the background. He is extra excited today. But, yeah, I guess that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I would love to know your thoughts on the matter in the comments. So please do that if you have thoughts on premium versus budget knives. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.